We have made it to the moment we have all been waiting for. We have the finale of Who the Did I Marry? We are going to rapid fire our way through the rest of her 52 videos. I'm not exaggerating. There was 52 videos in her series. PSA, if you want the full slow story, the way she tells the story, you can head to her TikTok. She has a playlist of all 52 videos. However, if you just want spitting facts, rapid fire, that's what we're doing today in the video. All right? Your choice. If you missed the last part, it's right up here on the screen. We left off, she is calling the ex-wife.
So I called her. May I please speak with Barbara? I am the wife of Legion. Then she starts laughing. She said, one thing you need to know about Legion. She said, whatever he tells you, it is a lie. And so I knew what his actual government name is. She was like, no one calls him Matt. She was like, that must be his new personality. Or she was cracking a joke. I said, well, were you guys ever in California? She said, no. She asked me, how did you even get my number? She said, because I want nothing to do with him. I have not spoken to him since our divorce was finalized.
So when he's been chatting with the ex-wife and her children, that's not true. That's all a lie. Wow, this rapid fire, we really got a lot in 30 seconds. All right, we're just gonna basically be going through every lie that was told. All the truth is coming out.
A couple of days later, I decided to look up his mother's obituary. It lists her husband, which is Legion's dad. It lists Legion's brother that lives in Philly and his wife. It lists Legion and his wife, I think it was like Latoya. It did not list the ex-wife I just spoke to. So I was thinking, who was Latoya? And then number two, where are the two sisters? The question now is becoming, what else is he lying about? I mean, I could not get on Google fast enough to try to figure some stuff out.
Another wife, apparently, named Latoya, and he probably doesn't have sisters. Awesome! Next!
I found a divorce record with Legion and the same woman's name that was in the obituary. Both had a temporary protection order against each other. I just randomly decided to do a Google search of the grandmother's name. She had died several years prior. That is when I discovered that she actually had passed away in July of 2008. It did not list the two sisters. I have no idea who that man is in my guest bedroom. Not to mention, on top of all of this, he had lied about the death of the ex-wife's daughter.
Yeah, I pieced that together in my head when he hadn't been talking to the ex-wife or the children. He lied about that. But did he also lie about the grandmother's death? That's a little worrisome about the protection order that was in place.
So we're now in June. I have been offered the new job, accepted it, put in my 2-week notice at my previous job. At this point, he's completely bedridden. He is going to work, but he's calling out a lot more. He's lost a lot of weight because he's not eating. So that's the reason why I say he wasn't faking whatever was going on. He is in the bed, asleep. I get his phone. It was the work phone that he had from the condiment company that apparently was never turned in. So I looked through the phone, text messages between him and a woman named Peaches. Apparently Peaches was, there's no nice way to say it. Apparently Peaches was a prostitute. In the text messages, she's listing the prices and says to her, thank you so much. That was really great. I hope I can see you again. The cheating didn't even faze me. The reason why I was relieved is because I can't stay with a guy that lies. So when I saw the cheating stuff, I was like, oh shoot, thank you, Jesus. Okay. Because I know my Father in heaven's going to forgive the fact that I'm going to divorce him for infidelity. I kind of had to do a little ghetto, hold the phone up, take my phone and take pictures of what I see on the phone.
This is insane. You guys were demanding. You want to know the ending. You want to know the lies and the truth. And you are getting it at a rapid fire pace here. I wonder if he's not faking the knee injury, then when he's going to work every day and coming home late, do you think maybe he's with Peaches? He might be with Peaches. I'm not surprised that he's cheating. He lies about everything.
June 17th, 2021, which was his birthday. I was like, can we talk? And I said, I don't think that this is going to work. I don't want to be married to you anymore. And I think that you need to pack a bag. And I think you need to get out my house. I was cussing like a sailor.
I've been waiting for this. June 17th, January to June was their entire marriage was 6 months. She was not lying when she said that. All of this happened within 6 months and it's still not over somehow.
He throws some stuff together and I'm looking at the condition of the bedroom. I look at these bottles of Powerade. I was like, what is this? He was like, I'm gonna throw it out. He grabbed a trash bag, put the bottles in there. And I said, what are in those bottles? I said, tell me that is not piss in those bottles. He was like, I couldn't make it to the bathroom. I was in too much pain. So at this point, I'm even more like, yeah, get out. So he ends up getting in the car, driving off.
What? I really could have taken this story at a slower pace, y'all. This is what you wanted. I can't process all of this information this fast. How many deaths has he lied about? People cheating with... This is very overwhelming.
He had told me that he was going to come back and get his stuff. Went to my family's house, filled them in. He left Georgia and immediately went to Philly. So I left work early, went to the courthouse and filed for divorce. Then I get a message on Facebook Messenger from a woman claiming to be his cousin. So the cousin tells me he's telling the family that I kicked him out after he walked in on me having an affair, that I stole his money, and the man I was having an affair with, he said, was a law enforcement officer who used his duty weapon to threaten him to get out the house.
This is like you need some psychological help. Pathological lying is terrifying because the liar actually believes that that is the reality of the situation. Terrifying.
This woman was like, he has two brothers. She said he has the twin and he has the older brother. I said, twin? Who's the twin? So this is where she explained to me. She said the parents, mom and dad, had the older brother. Legion and the younger brother who lives in Nashville, they are twins. She was like, who the hell are these sisters that you're talking about? So I tell her, I was like, Shantae and Kim. I don't know who Shantae is. She said, Kim is my daughter. It's like, and they haven't spoken in about 20 years. Said, okay. And then there was the grandmother and she's just like, she died in 2008. I said, then there was the uncle who also died from COVID. She was like, which uncle is that? I told her the name. She said, he's been dead since like 2010. I said, okay, what about the cousin nicknamed Junebug? She was like, man, that's crazy what happened to him. And I was like, what do you mean what happened to him? He has talked to his cousin Junebug on the phone like a few months prior. So she said to me, she said, yeah, he had passed away in like 2016.
It's all fake. It's all fake. Every single thing. Fake. All those deaths. So when you sent $2,000 to the ex-wife who lost their child, didn't actually happen, where the hell did that money go? What a sick... Andy doesn't even have sisters. What? What good does that do to just pretend you have sisters? Just say you don't have sisters. I need a sip of water. I do. Honestly, I need a sip of something stronger than water, but here we are. Grab your beverage of choice. I need to hydrate. Take a sip of water today. Okay? Cheers. Moving on.
He drove from Georgia to Philly. Stayed in Philly for about 3-4 days. Left Philly, drove back to Georgia, went to Augusta. He has family in Augusta. First settlement agreement has to be signed by the two of us, where we are basically telling the court, look, this is what he's keeping, this is what I'm keeping. I need his signature. We ride to Augusta. I had spoken to him. I had said, I just need you to sign this piece of paper. I did not recognize him. He almost looked, what's the word? Emaciated. If I may be mispronouncing it. He looked homeless. He smelled homeless. Okay. And then a woman named Lauren came over and notarized the papers. And then we were done. because he signed the divorce agreement. He didn't even read it. He didn't read the part where what's left in the house now belongs to me. He took technically what he was going to take. Everything else in that home belongs to me. I walked him to the car. I saw the condition of the inside of the car. And that's when I knew he's been living in his car. Because if you had money, you wouldn't be living in your car. He was like, I'm gonna be all right. I'm about to start a new job.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna be cool.
I don't think any of us are surprised that he didn't have all the money he claimed, but he really must not have money if he's living in his car. There is a note here that says she gave him money to go buy chicken nuggets and to get a meal, which is kind, considering what the hell just happened. And it's still not over.
Everything you're going to hear, all of this happens in the month of July. So he left a book bag at the house, book bag that had all kind of paperwork in there. I found a packet from the condiment company where it showed his 401k contributions. It also stated in there that he had been terminated. Also in the book bag were paycheck stubs from a previous job where he worked at a cemetery, the same cemetery that he took me to. Also in the book bag, it was a copy of a driver's license that he had. Address on the driver's license was the same address as the cemetery. Also in the book bag paperwork was unemployment paperwork. Also in this book bag was paperwork from Clayton County courts. It was like a weekender jail receipt. So what was in the book bag were multiple yellow receipts for different weekends that he had to report and get out of jail.
I don't understand. I don't really, quite literally don't have much else to say. That's terrifying. Curious to know what he was in jail for. And you obviously didn't know that. And you have no idea who this person was as a whole, at all. I don't even know how you live at a cemetery. How is that possible?
Where I've spoken to the female cousin, and she gave me the phone number for the older brother. For the purposes of this video, we're going to call him Chris. Chris was very nice. I called him. He was gracious. First question I had was, when was the last time you spoke to him? Without missing a beat, Chris says, 2015, just after our mother's funeral. Every time he was having a phone call or conversation that he claims to be with Chris, no one is on the phone. According to Chris, the twin brother, the one that is older by 20 minutes, is VP of his company, is married, drives a luxury car, and lives in like a 4 or 5 bedroom house. So Chris is saying to me, he was like, it sounds like he took the identity of the twin. I said, I met your aunt. Well, what aunt is that? I told him her name. He said, that ain't our damn aunt.
Oh my God. So he really deserves an Oscar because every one of those phone calls, no one was on the other line, which I called, knew that was happening. But every morning she said that he would call his brother every morning and talk for like 30 minutes. You're talking yourself out loud for 30 minutes. Why bother? That's like so much energy. I don't even want to talk to real people for 30 minutes. Just kidding. Kidding. I love people. Good people.
So I finished going through the book bag. How is it that he had all this money in the accounts? But again, the last time I saw him, he's living in his car. I go into not just the photos of the work phone. I go into the deleted folder. And what I see is what looks like a screenshot of his checking account, the one that I saw with the available balance. Then there's another photo of the screenshot of the savings that he showed me. I did a reverse Google image search. Sure enough, was nothing more than a screenshot that he had found on Google. Those 2 photos, the checking and the savings, it came right up. I did a reverse image search of the charcoal BMW, sent me pictures of the company car. Nothing more than a screenshot he had taken off of Google Images. The house that he showed me that he had in San Diego, Google Images.
And to think that if you just did a Google image search on any of that along the way, you would have had the evidence. You would have had the concrete evidence that this man was lying.
I reached out on Facebook to the brother in Baltimore. And I said, hey, have you heard from Legion? Mind you, the brother in Baltimore and him have talked on speakerphone. Informs me, no, I ain't talked to him. He owes me money. And I said, wait a second, like, he was telling me that y'all are brothers. He was like, man, he's like a brother. But I don't with him because he owes me money. This is now July 2021. They had not spoken in well over 6 months.
Not surprised there. And it really does sound like he used his brother's life to form the foundation of his lies. He's like, yeah, that's my life. That's me.
The whole missing in action debacle where he disappeared for a couple of weeks. Legion started calling and texting me, telling me that he was ready to come home. Yes, you heard that correct. So he started harassing and calling the out of me. He was calling, 30 times in 1 hour. He was Facebook Messenger calling me. He was messaging me saying, I'm coming home. I'm going to get some money and drive up from Augusta. You have to let me in the house. It's not fair what you're doing. All this other bull. Law enforcement informed me, well, technically, he's right. Because he is still legally your husband. Our divorce had not been finalized at this point. If he comes back, our officers would have to let him in the house. You don't have to stay there. They gave me different options. I was trying everything in the book because he is saying, I'm coming back to the house. Well, he eventually tells me I'm going to be there on Wednesday. So the day before all this goes down, the police captain called me. He informs me that they ran his name through GCIC, which is a database. Turns out he has a warrant for his arrest. If he shows up to the house, don't do anything, call us. They will simply arrest him.
I just have so many things in my brain. I'm like, did he ever have any job in this relationship? Like when he left to work, was he actually going to work? Was he just chilling in his car? Why does he have a warrant out for his arrest? Why was he in jail? I got so many questions. Oh my God, there's only one part left. Wow. The last moments of this story. This is precious.
It's the end of an era. I know.
This is a moment, you guys.
Went to work as usual. Still, he was calling me, texting me, messaging me that he was on his way. Went ahead and called 911. My ex-husband is here. He is not supposed to be here. There was no incident or anything like that. He was arrested peacefully. Everything that he had left in my house had been donated to the domestic violence shelter. Now we can fast forward to what happened around August 29th. We have been checking the court documents. He had a court date scheduled for around August 29th or August 30th. I don't remember the exact date. He's not being kept in a longer jail term because the warrant had expired. August 31st, I went back to the house. The movers were there. They packed me up and we got out of there so quick. I think they packed me up in about 2 hours. I completely purged my life. Completely. Started over from the bottom. So fast forward all this time, get to December. I get a phone call from my coworker telling me that Legion has called our job looking for me and was trying to get information. Yes, I had already changed my number. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the last time I had any contact whatsoever with my pathologically lying ex-husband.
Oh my gosh. All of my predictions we knew everything was a lie, but I really wanted all the details of what is the truth? Nothing. He had two brothers. And now thinking back to the times that he put in all those offers, cash offers, what if they were just like, we accept? What would you have done? Let me know everything you're thinking about this story and its conclusion. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.